Alright guys, so we are going to be doing a full breakdown for the new banner. So you can kind of call it the half year anniversary banner. So we do have 3 featured UR units and we have abundance of SSR units to kind of go over. But just to make the video short, I think for the UR units we can probably do in like a separate video rather than this one, because that's probably gonna take a very long time, honestly. So I'm probably gonna be doing it a little bit later. But let's just talk about the main thing of the bunch. We do have Nahel Argama. I do want to take a look at that real quick just to see what that actually entails. So Nahel Argama, if I can click on it, let's take a look at this. So Nahel Argama is the third in line to have up to the 44% all stats across, and it's actually a healing, so that's actually not too terrible, isn't it? Now, as far as the Asian attack goes, I mean, let's see what's actually in here. So yep, as expected, they virtually added most of the new units in here. I mean, especially like the 3 main new units: Unicorn, God Gundam, and then F91 is they're both added in here. So it kind of gives you a typing per, like it gives you a type per each. So it's a nice way to just kind of round things out. So do you expect Ace unit to be a dominant tag moving into the next Master League? I feel like you can definitely find yourselves running into F91 a lot, Unicorn, and even God Gundam. Surprisingly enough, they put all the Shuffle Alliance SSR in here as well. So both Gundam, Dragon, Rose, and even Maxter, they're both in here. Also, this little guy, Jagan, is in here as well. So that is something to just kind of note as well. So as far as like the roster itself, I think it's pretty solid so far. Because even back then, we have like Strike Freedom, which is, I think, is still holding up so far. I think, and Ixia maybe a little bit faded this one in time, but it's still a very nice beginner as a UR unit for a lot of like people out there. So you guys might even have this maxed out, so it would be very good, very beneficial. So it's not bad. Like usually when we do get these 44% stats battleship, they certainly do mean business, and this one definitely does. So unfortunately, my summoning, you guys will definitely see, but you guys can definitely see the pain that I have to go through. But let's talk about Unicorn. Unicorn wise, if we do take a look at the stat itself and the defense, I want to say it's pretty much on the very average stat route. I was thinking about Unicorn maybe like just pretty stat stick heavy, but it's actually not the case. So Unicorn will actually fit into the middle of the pack as far as like the attack stat goes. So Psycho Saku is still the highest, and then we have Gundam Ashimoff, the newest one, like C and the O, like those are even higher. I think this time around I will definitely screenshot kind of like the listing so you guys can kind of see a better idea of like where it's kind of at. Defense wise, it's actually will be on the high side, but as far as a support type unit, like I feel like the defensive stat doesn't really matter a whole lot. Like the energy could be pretty important. Energy in this unit is actually, it's not bad. It's actually on the high side as well, but I mean kind of the same as everybody else. Well, I don't know. Stat wise for Unicorn so far seems a little bit lackluster to me. That's how I'm seeing it as a first impression. Definitely as a first impression. Tag on this one is obviously a lot. You see Gundam Protagonist, ICOM, Earth Federation, NTD, Unstoppable, and Ace units. So right now, the most common tag you find this unit running into is definitely going to be the Ace units. Unstoppable continuously getting another buff, and SciCom just never ending. It's pretty good. Like this tag right here. Like look at this, bam! Look at this full roster of units, amazing, just nuts, I would say. So tag wise, I don't think you have to worry about too much, because you can definitely find Unicorn into a lot of the main stable team, so that's actually pretty good. As far as the weapon, we have a Psycho Field. So Psycho Field is actually our debuff. So that sucks. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought Unicorn was gonna be like a god tier unit, but when I saw this right here, I took the biggest sigh and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, they decimated Unicorn and it's not even funny. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? It's cool to have a psycho free, but no, don't put the weapon effects on this right here. Like, it's only one ammo, so it's a one and done. It's a one and done. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, look at that. Nothing on the shield funnel. Nothing on the beam magnum. Everything else is on the shield funnel. So, the shield funnel does give you the defense down by 35%, but come on, man. Come on now. Are you really gonna do that to us? I'm like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. The abilities, we do have increased energy. We have a increased attack. And as far as the NTD level 3, we have 3 different effects actually. Let's see, maybe this will actually save us. Let's see what's going on. So we have increased mobility by 10%, and when the enemy attacks with beam range, reduce damage taken by 30. Okay. And when taking damage from a special weapon, reduce enemies awakening by 50%. So special weapon, it would be this one then. Yeah, so this one, you would essentially reduce like the enemy palette stats. So it would be right here. So this right here would get reduced. So that means any enemy units with an attack that scales from range, melee is like up these 3. Any units that had this as a damage modifier is gonna get reduced. So I mean, that's pretty niche, I'm not gonna lie, because like awakening as the weapon modifier or the weapon type damage is actually, I wouldn't say it's the most common for sure. So it's a good ability. The fact that you have 3 instances of it, 3 separate ones, is actually kind of amazing. But if you're talking about like a pure debuffer, I really don't think Unicorn is the main go-to for sure. But everything does change when we consider this guy as well. So, but Nodger links, the stat, I can already tell you guys, range, it's not the highest. Melee, it's not the highest. But the awakening stat, yes. Awakening stat, it is one of the highest. So if you do kind of average things out, you know, give or take, is roughly about like a 1300 if you spread it across range plus awakening plus melee. It does kind of average things out. So I wouldn't call it the best. So I'll probably be showing you guys like the top few options as far as like the strongest range, the strongest melee for the pilot, and we'll kind of call it there. But it's not terrible. And we do obviously have 2 support attacks, so that's actually pretty nice. We'll take a look at the skills. Save energy at level 5, so reduce consumption by 35%. We also do have a similar package compared to Haman from the Quibbly, which gives you guys 25% increased damage stats, as well as the awakening stat up by 25%. So yeah, you can definitely juice it up to a respectable number on a given turn where you really need the damage. So that's something at least. As far as the support attack, it is actually going to be a energy consumption reduction, so it's not going to be increasing attack or anything. So a little bit upsetting. I was wanting this to be like just an all barrage of a support unit, but seems to me it's kind of like pretty well rounded. It debuffs. It also reduces like the enemy's pilot's awakening stat, so it could be something. The only thing that I can think about it being good is this Master League, because that's kind of where it matters. But general content wise, I don't know. We'll definitely have to see on that regards. We have the NTD for the attack, so increased accuracy and evasion by 12%, or that's kind of alright. So this is where it kind of matters, right? So we have base +1, and if you are piloting this Unicorn Awakening specifically, you should have another one, right? You should, but it's not really showing in here. I guess once we hop into the actual battle, that would change, supposedly, right? That should be the case. And additionally, when you are piloting the Unicorn Awakening, improved defense weapon. Oh, whoa. Improved what? Improved decrease defense weapon effects by additionally 5% additionally. So we should be talking about 40%. So in theory, this is a 40% debuffer. So now that we read the full package, Unicorn is actually not terrible, but it's definitely we definitely have to go out there and test it to see if that's actually true. But if that's the case, Unicorn is a monster. Not gonna hold you guys. It's actually gonna be really nutty. All right, we have Burning Gundam, or the God Gundam. So stat wise, I am gonna be showcasing up like the highest view. So Burning Gundam is actually the 4th highest stats, coming in after Crossbone, Master Gundam, and Strike Freedom. And the 5th in place is actually High New. So just by the base stat itself is looking pretty good. Not bad. Alright, so let's take a look at the tag. It's actually not too terrible. We do have a good selection, obviously. I mean, the main one right now is just Unstoppable, and then H Unit. That's kind of it. I would say these two, yeah, these two are not going to be good at all. Just gonna be calling it out. I mean, mobile trace system eventually could be good. I'm thinking, I don't know, it could be. Are build fighters in here? No, they're not. I was thinking like the build fighter stuff could be in here as well. I mean, that could be fun, but they're not in here. So this tag is exclusively kind of to the G Gundam then. So I don't think it's ever gonna be that good then. Unfortunate. So what are we looking at? 8,000 base power? Oh my god. What? What is this? What is this? Wow. And you can increase it up to 20% the closer it gets. Oh, I don't think 8,000 is the highest we ever have in game, right? It could be, but 20%? Dude, that's a killer. Oh my god. But the restriction is you do... Huh? Oh. So every time you use it, it's gonna consume 5 MP. So I'm expecting Domo to actually help us out in that department, I'm thinking. Dude, that's crazy. You have to spend 5 AP. So in theory, you will use anything besides the Shuffle Align Attack EX to max MP, then you can use it twice. That's kind of it. Unless Domo has a way to continuously stay above 5 or 10, it's gonna be tough to always bank on the biggest power on here. Okay. Let's kind of keep going. So far I'm kind of nervous now. I am a little bit nervous. We do have a base attack up by 50%, and when Vulgar is max or higher, another 15%. Okay, so up to 30%. That's good. Range condition. Damage reduction by level 3. When the enemy attacks from 4 spaces or more, reduce damage taken by 30%. Wow. That actually isn't that bad. I mean, it's considering that we don't have the mechanics on here on defense, so you have this instead. But I mean, it's not terrible. 30% is, you know, it can probably allow you to eat a expert difficulty enemy attack. Maybe, I don't know. The attack or the HP to me doesn't seem pretty promising. Only 9,500. It's not. So we'll see how Domo is looking now. Let's see how Domo looking. So Domo as a melee pilot stats is the highest. We can confirm that. The highest so far right now is Lube Unicorn Gundam, and the one after that is Master Asia. So yeah, Domo does have the highest. And what? No. Only one chance stab? No. No. You gotta give us more than that. Okay. So MP level 5. Increase MP by 7. So you do have that mechanic. And you have level 2 sway and level 5 melee boost. So you have options, which is good. I like that. So depending on the situation, I will pick and choose what I like. So I would like that. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. And let's see what is going on. Increase damage dealt. And we do have an increased MP up by 6 right at the bat with the tag up. And reaction up by 50%. Okay. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. Sure. That's, I mean, reaction, I don't know. But at least we have a base 6 MP up right at the bat. And when piloting Burning Gundam EX, reduce weapon MP consumption by 2. So instead of 5, you're going to be using 3, so it's not terrible. So, alright, so it's basically nothing then. But then again, the lower your MP is, the less damage you're doing. So overall, it may or may not balance out. So that's also another thing to consider about. But I mean, so far they are introducing a lot of new mechanics just based on this alone. But then again, the only thing that I don't really like is the fact that there's only one chance stab. I really do think they can add in like another support attack, or not support attack, like an extra attack going on. That would have been great. But I mean, given what it is, I don't think it's that terrible. At least in the MP department, Burning Gundam can stay afloat of that, so you can always use the Stressful Alliance attack. So that's the only thing that's kind of like the only thing that I care about. So it's not bad then. Alright, last but not least, we have F91. So F91, if we are talking about, well, let's first check out the HP department, which is actually not that high. So that is unfortunate. But defensively speaking, I think it's actually could be pretty promising. So defense is actually, you can kind of call it like the third or the third highest in the game. So that speaks for itself. So yeah, you definitely have your trade-off. So it's either your HP oriented or defense oriented, which this one is going to be a defense oriented. So we have that. Tag is actually pretty good. You have SciComm, Earth Federation, Unstoppable, and H Unit. So the main one to be targeting is definitely going to be SciComm, Unstoppable, and H Unit. So those are going to be like your primary targets for that. So there's that. And the weapon themselves, we don't really have a lot to work with actually, right? Beam Saber, Beam Rifle, Whisper, the MP, or the MIP EX, and we are reducing special weapon power by 35%, and the other one is actually Beam. So it's not bad actually, because you can be a little bit strategic on that, and especially like those boss unit, you can kind of pick and choose how you want to debuff the enemy. So a lot of debuffing in the way, so you can debuff like basic attack, special weapon out like beam, and defense. So no, defense would be like just a debuff on the other aspect, but it's not bad. Given the fact that you do have multiple way of actually decreasing the enemy power, so that's actually pretty good. Not bad, not bad. What about the abilities? Increased defense, and when Vulgars are max or higher, increase defense and mobility by 10. So nothing, kind of like a nothing burger for this unit, because F91 in theory should be the fastest out there, but from the abilities themselves, they don't really seem that promising. Increase accuracy and evasion by 50 or by 5. Upsetting. That's kind of all I can say. So it's not that great. And then for C-Book, C-Book stat is actually pretty decent. If we talk about like the reaction stats, but defensively speaking, is it the highest? I don't think it is. No. Defensively speaking, it would be in 5th, coming in after Adrian and Judo. But reaction wise, is definitely one of the highest. So there you go. Alright, skills. We have increased evasion and evasion, you don't say, but hey, but with high evasion, can you actually evade an EX skill? The answer is no. So even if you have like the highest accuracy, evasion, whatever, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because you can't really do much. So it feels like a nothing burger for these skills themselves. And you do have MP up, which it could be good, but I don't really see a purpose. I don't really see like the biggest purpose of that. So again, another nothing burger. And the other one is just restore HP by 50, which we'll take that. That's kind of like the only good thing about this kit, or the abilities. But yeah, it's looking pretty bad so far. Increased defense, increase of awakening and reaction, extra 20% stats, and 15% taken down or damage reduction, and increase MP by 6. So at least you are starting out with 6 right at the bat, so that's good. But other than that, I feel like Unicorn and God Gundam, they seems to be like a must summon. Even though their kits wouldn't otherwise suggest that, but I think it's certainly up there. We've given Unicorn potentially up to 40% defense debuff. Dude, that's crazy. That's cracking the barrier right now. So that's good. And then God Gundam, given the fact that you do have a massive high power on the EX weapon itself, could be pretty promising. So I will definitely do a showcase on them whenever I can get around to that. But as of right now, I do think they're definitely worth summoning for. But other than that, that's going to be pretty much it for me. And I will be catching you guys all on the next one.